Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. We're zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is, how do I stop the ruminations? Just sort of going over and over and over in my mind what has been done in my relationships, and I can't seem to move it forward. I can't seem to get that jump start. So I think that's a great viewer question, because this plagues really, I would say, just about everybody. When you are going through heartbreak, trying to make sense of things, or you've been betrayed, you've been cheated on, you've been lied to, deceived, or made to feel less than, as an object of contempt or manipulation. Ruminations are when you play something over and over and over again, and it tends to make people feel bad, out of control, and largely worried. There's something wrong with me. I feel afraid. There's something wrong with me. I don't have confidence. There's something wrong with me. I can't focus. It really serves as a distraction. And why I feel the rumination just seems to play itself over and over again is because those individuals who get stuck on that as a result of brainwashing, gaslighting, scapegoating, projection, kind of causing you to doubt yourself, doubt your ability, doubt really reality more or less. In other words, your enjoyment or pleasure, or filling up with light, filling up with freedom, filling up with your personality, being able to fill up and have lightness of spirit. In other words, happiness is not an experience when you're dealing with someone who is sort of projecting a lot of their burdens, their problems, insecurity onto you, as if their problems are yours to fix. Relationships, yes, if it's a two-way street, then the ruminations won't really be an issue. When you're dealing in relationships where there's a one-track mind, a person who has to be right, a person who has to be in control. In other words, they're not confident in and of themselves to experience an outcome of a situation, a get-together, a gathering, a work meeting, a holiday, whatever it is. They don't trust and they don't allow other people to just be. They're trying to kind of control the reins. They're trying to pull the strings. They're trying to be the center, the end-all, be-all, take credit, be the leader. And oftentimes it's important to understand the cause of this is because oftentimes these people who cause ruminations in others is because they want to be beyond reproach. Beyond reproach, meaning beyond confrontation, beyond being challenged, beyond being held accountable for being a good old-fashioned human being. As if they're superhuman, exempt from natural law, exempt from having to be reasonable. When you get these extremes, oftentimes they've got their ears closed, eyes closed, heart closed. They are not receptive. And this can also cause kind of a feedback loop within individuals, which is known as rumination, playing something over and over and over again. And you might repeat, I'm so afraid. I can't get this. I can't figure this out. I don't know what I want. I don't know what to do. I don't know what my strength is. I don't know what my purpose is. I'm unlovable. I am this. And it's always defined by a negative. This is known as negative validation. This is kind of like the default place after you're in a relationship where there is sort of a lot of these manipulations, and so you don't have a sense of your own strength or how to exit out of that rumination loop. Oftentimes you need to give yourself permission. Hey, this is fear-based, this is false evidence appearing real. Maybe I should just cool it. Let me cool my jets. Okay, let me calm down. Everything is okay. This oftentimes is a experiential state that a lot of people don't get to live in. So realize that the rumination is just sort of like a momentum of not having sort of this healthy communication style. It doesn't mean you're at fault. It doesn't mean you should harshly judge yourself. It doesn't mean you should get on the sabotage bandwagon and keep beating yourself up. The ruminations are when you get this over and over as a result of brainwashing, feeling and absorbing too much of someone else's insecurity, too much of their negativity. Don't pussyfoot around. I saw a great t-shirt yesterday, and what did it say? Don't be a pussy, okay? And it had just like this cute pussy cat on it. But when we talk about ruminations, oftentimes it's because we're fulfilling a neurological state that we're used to. So if you're always used to being worried, then you're going to create situations for you to be worried. If your baseline is to be fear-based and people-pleasing and always seek their approval, then you're going to keep this addiction going, and you're going to create situations to satisfy that neurochemical addiction to always be worried. So it's kind of like it becomes your new normal to exit out of this rumination state. And oftentimes the fear is unfounded. In other words, it becomes really essentially a bad emotional habit. Just like smoking, drinking, overeating, overspending, it is a habit that needs to be curbed and disciplined. And you're going to be the one in the driver's seat. You're going to be the pilot. You're going to be the one to put the foot on the emotional brakes and to say, okay, let me take a step back here. Is this really worth getting worked up over? Is this really the best energetic space for me to be in? To be anxious, to be desperate, to be feeling hopeless, to be feeling fearful? Or is this more as a result of the previous relationships where you were taught to feel these things? So begin to look at yourself with some compassion. Whoa, this is a bad emotional habit. Let me back out of this. Literally take a step back and become mindful. And taking a step back, which means, put it on pause for a moment and really look at what you're getting worked up over. Is it really that bad? Or is it that bad because someone in your past or in your present is telling you that they want you off your game, off your A game, off your feet, that it gives them a certain sick pleasure to have people agitated and questioning and doubting and being an object of their contention or their judgment? And just, and if that is the case, then realize that. And oftentimes it is false evidence appearing real. In other words, it's not worth getting worked up over. It's not allowing yourself to be controlled by them. And until you can really accept this in your gut, it's not worth it for me to be controlled by the worries of others, the allegations, the false accusations, the betrayal, the pathological lying. I'm not falling for it. And I really don't need to get that worked up. I don't need to get fearful. I no longer need to do that. I'm growing out of it. I think is a really good approach to have with yourself. I'm growing out of it. I'm growing out of being worried. I'm growing out of waiting for your reaction. I'm growing out of waiting for your approval. I'm growing out of waiting for your justification. I'm, growing out of your tactics. In other words, they no longer affect me in a negative way. In fact, they're helping me to see the light. They're helping me to see how people operate who want to be in control, who want to, because of their insecurity, because they want to be beyond reproach, they want to reproach me. Do you see what I'm saying? They kind of put the burden, they cast it on other people. And realize that oftentimes the people who are trying to control is because they don't want to be held accountable. There's something that they are trying to hide or cover up. Don't make it your job to uncover it for them. Don't make it your job to try to clear the air. Make it so that you can move freely and you're not allowing that pattern to continue. Break the cycle and break the pattern. Just come into a cool, calm, collected body. Being at calm, being relaxed, being at ease, being okay. Oftentimes this space where you're kind of at oneness with everything is not a heavily advertised, way to be. Everything is out, about you're not good enough, you don't have the right this, you don't have the right vacation, So look at and being able to realize and give yourself that credit that I do know what is best for me. And affirm these things. for goodness sake, I do know what is best for me. For goodness sake, I'm not falling prey to those ruminations. I'm stepping out of that. I'm breaking the cycle. I'm breaking the pattern. Through the role of metacognition, you can catch yourself. Whoa, let me back it up here. Nope, I'm not falling for that old emotional habit. I'm breaking the cycle. I'm not allowing my fear to run away with me. I'm not going to pussy out. That is, for back in the day when I was a victim, back in the day when I didn't know better, back in the day when I was being deceived, back in the day when I was being controlled, back in the day when I was overwhelmed, back in the day when I was being overpowered. Allow that to sort of be back in the day, and realize that there's new habits that you can train and reinforce yourself. And it does take, 30 days to really, as experts say, to learn a new habit. So you need to kind of stick with this for a month. I mean, give yourself a timeline and really begin to work on it. You are worth it. Your happiness, your serenity is worth it in breaking the pattern. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace out.